Welcome to this special edition of the Arts Page. I'm your host, Sandy Max, and we're here at the Milwaukee Ballet to share an extraordinary program called Tour de Force. In ballet terms, a tour de force is a feat of technical skill, like a series of pirouettes or impressive jumps. A tour de force, as we typically use it, means a triumph, a great achievement, which is what can happen when a professional ballet dancer meets with a physical therapist and a child with special needs. The Milwaukee Ballet has partnered with Children's Hospital of Wisconsin to bring ballet to 13 exceptional little dancers, creating a powerful and transformative arts experience for everyone involved.
Tour de Force is special to me because it's something I can do, and I never expected myself to do it because, you know, it's with all the spinning and twirling and spinning, I thought that I would never be able to do it.
The Milwaukee Ballet is a very multifaceted organization. The Tour de Force program is our newest community outreach program. About a year and a half ago, Dr. Maya Evans came to me with Kat Leiden, one of the PTs in the program, and had this idea from a class that she had seen in Chicago about creating some sort of a class or a program that would combine dancers, kids with disabilities, and physical therapists. And it seemed incredibly overwhelming to me at first. But Dr. Evans was really persistent and calm and just said, you guys do the dance part, we do the physical therapy part, we bring it together, and together we can do something really unique. And she was right. So we started the program with 5 kids with a variety of disabilities, and within just a short 4-week session, we really saw the power of this program. Tour de force, it's a ballet term. It means an arresting vital step or a feat of technical ability. These kids are taking a big jump. It's them doing something that maybe they didn't think they could do or would have the opportunity to do. When they come to class, they're coming to our Brookfield branch, so they're coming to a real ballet studio with the real ballet floors and the mirrors and the bars. That was an important part of the program, is that we didn't want this to be in a hospital setting. And they come to class, and each kid is paired with a physical therapist and a dancer so that they really get to know that dancer over the course of the sessions. Some of the kids do need more than one physical therapist, so they have maybe a little mini team that's working with them.
We have a huge range of differences in the kids. We go from kids that are dependent, so they're in wheelchairs and they need a lot of assistance, they need help with all their movements, all the way up into our class that's completely independent, but they have those slight limitations that would limit them from being in a normal class. So it's a very wide variety, so I think it's great for everyone, for them to all be together.
They're going to be doing some stretching, and some of the stretches that they're doing are things that we've already been told that they need to work on, and some of them are just regular ballet stretches that the dancers are used to doing all the time, or that we would have kids in any ballet class doing. So there's a lot of stretching. They're going through the basic positions of ballet, and then they're progressing through, depending on the level of their class, progressing through to harder exercises.
It's very important that the physical therapists are working side by side with the dancers, because we really educate them and help the kids achieve the movements as much as possible without causing any injury or harm. We really help position them so that their joints are in the best position so they can do the movement to their benefit. And it's really nice for the physical therapists to be hands-on with the students and the dancers just to be there as their role model so they can just repeat and do what they do and really feel like they're in the class and kind of forget about us. We try to be more in the background, just kind of assisting them.
You know, as a dancer, you know, you have this certain skill set that's very specific, and then all of a sudden you're going to be working with these children that have, special needs that we don't have any medical training. But then you realize that you don't actually have to do anything. Like, you just showing up and being a dancer is exactly what these kids need. And you see them respond, and you see them smile, and you see them progress from week to week. It's actually pretty incredible.
Good job. You're getting so good at this.
At the end of each class, there's a 15-minute section where we let the dancers do a little bit of demonstration so that they can see what these guys have spent their lives learning how to do. We spend a week where the girls talk about their point shoes and what that's like to dance on point. The boys are going to do some tricks one week. And then we'll spend a week talking about the Nutcracker and getting them ready to go see the show.
She's got to keep her balance on her leg.
Each week we want them to see a little bit of some demonstration from the dancers just for further inspiration and because it's so exciting to be that close to a professional dancer. What we want to give them is an experience that's as close to them registering at Milwaukee Ballet School and Academy and taking a class as they could. Kids get really, really tired and resentful of doing their exercises. They've already been in a hospital so much. They have been in this routine of going to appointments and being in the hospital and getting surgeries and being told they have to do these exercises every day.
We might work week after week in therapy on the same stretches, and it's boring and I don't want to do it, and they put up a fight, but they come to dance class and the music comes on and my dance teacher says I have to do the same stretch that Rebecca maybe wanted me to do earlier this week, and they do it, and it's, they keep practicing at home, and they're very willing participants, which I think is wonderful.
And back on Bob. Let's try.
Dancers have a daily stretching regimen that they have to do too in order to stay in shape.
We start out every morning with ballet class. It's sort of like the bread and butter of our work. And it's your warm-up for the day, but it's also your chance to keep improving. When these kids are sometimes learning something new and saying, oh, this is hard, and you can say, yeah, it's hard. It's always a journey to make it better. And I think that's something that it's easy to forget how much work it does take.
The things that ballet dancers have to do aren't natural to our bodies, or else we'd all do them. We'd all be able to walk on the tips of our toes. We'd all be able to turn our muscles out to the extreme. Ballet manipulates your muscles into doing that, and that's what these kids have to do on a daily basis.
Look up to the ceiling and down to the floor.
What seemed like an overwhelming task for us when this project was presented to us actually started to make more and more sense the more that we learned about it.
In the Tour de Force ballet classes, we start with basic stretching that they would have to do if they were doing their normal physical therapy. So we start a lot of slow stretching, moving one part of the body at a time. We start working our feet, because in ballet we have to use our feet a lot. Stretching. Then we normally go into basic positions of feet and arms. We go to the ballet bar and we bring that out and we work there. We do start with, just like every other ballet class, we start with our pliés, we start with our tendus, and then every class we kind of progress and add more stuff every single week. The dance vocabulary is, when you know what that word means, you know what your body is supposed to do, and I think that's a really important connection for all students to have. You'll see the kids doing a plie, which means to bend, so they'll be bending their legs, and we do that in all of the ballet positions. We always start that way. Then we start with tendus, which is their legs sliding out and in from different positions. We then will normally go into a dégagé, which is like a tendu, but it's off the floor, so they have to work on holding their leg in the air. We do rond de jambes, which is round of the legs, so they're making circles with their legs. And then one of the other things that we work on are some relevés, which means to rise up. So that's when they go up onto their demi-points, half point. These classes are the exact same that I'm teaching. My typical 6 to 8-year-old ballet class that I teach, I'm starting the same exact way. We do the same foot warm-up that I do in my 6 to 8 ballet. We do the same stretching. It just might be a little bit slower, might be a little bit more modified, but the steps that we're doing and the order of the class is the exact same that I teach for the rest of my classes.
And it's amazing to see what the ballet dancers value in these children that, you know, we may see as a disability or something that's hard for them, but the dancers are so excited about, look at your turnout and look how you can do this position and this is perfect for ballet. And so I think that's some great feedback for these kids.
So we have 3 levels of the Tour de Force program this year. Our first level is called Les Petites. That translates to the littles. Those are the kids that really need the most help from the physical therapist.
They may not be able to sit on their own, they may not be able to hold their head up on their own, and so they have a therapist and a dancer and potentially a student physical therapist with them as well, helping them participate in the ballet class. So one person might be helping them sit while someone else is helping them move their arms and someone else is helping them with their legs.
Denya, at 10 months old, suffered an illness that caused an anoxic brain injury, so she has cerebral palsy. She's a spastic quadriplegic, so that means that all 4 of her limbs are affected with the cerebral palsy. She is nonverbal, but very expressive. You know exactly what she wants, and she can make a lot of vocalizations. She's a happy, smiley girl, despite all of the challenges she's been through before we adopted her.
Denya really enjoys the attention she gets during the Tour de Force. She really enjoys like the new stretches that she's learned and different positions. She's really opened up as far as physically.
Denya's muscles are very stiff and tight. It's hard for her to move them voluntarily, and they have been doing a lot of slow stretches.
She watches her dancer quite a bit, a lot of eye contact, which in the past has not been something that she's been able to really do.
If you want Denya to look a certain way, she doesn't like to turn her head to the left. She'll watch Barry. No matter where Barry goes, her head's gonna follow.
Todd's my little dancer, and he's such a flirt, which is crazy, but he has these big, beautiful eyes, and he will follow the ladies around the room with those eyes all the time. And he's the only boy in the program, and he's older. He's like physically bigger. You know, there's a lot of really, teeny tiny ballerinas in the program.
Todd has problems with the neurotransmitters in his brain and the signals that they send to his body. So that causes him challenges with being able to move and stiffness, that where he wants to move and he sends the signal from his brain and it just doesn't make it to his body. When I try to stretch him, it's very, very hard. He doesn't want to move for me. He's like, Mom, that's work. You know, you're here every day. But when he goes to the program, he would start like just stretching just a little bit. And then as he would go on, it was, he would get his arms way, I can never get him to get his arms way up like they were able to do as he progressed through the program.
We'll help you or we'll play games with you. I can feel him if I'm trying to stretch him and he doesn't want to. I can feel him like tug back on me but then smile at me, so I know he knows that he's playing a game. And then like week by week there's just this progression where you can see them remember, not only like remember you, but remember kind of what's expected of them, and you can see them relax and be familiar, and yeah, it's actually pretty incredible.
There you go. Good job. Very good.
If he likes something a lot, he can say one word: more, 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 more. When we finished that class, and it was probably 2 minutes before I had said that or 2 minutes after I had said that to Susan, we finished and I said, okay, buddy, I said, we're all done. He looked up at her and he went, more, 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 more. That was it. That was it. We knew the connection was there.
Our next level is called Les Élèves, and those are the students, or that's what it translates to, the students. And those kids have a little more mobility.
They might still have orthotics, so they might be wearing like braces on their legs. They might need a walker or crutches in order to walk. They might be in a wheelchair most of the time, but they can sit on their own and they can participate. So they would have a dancer with them and then either a physical therapist or a physical therapist student, depending on the level of their need.
Anna is just amazing to see. When she first moved here, not only was she smaller in stature, but she was so shy. She was learning English, and she just looked around and took everything in. Not only has she grown confidence-wise, but she's grown inches. So she just continues to improve. She's been trying the classes this time around without any of the braces on her ankles that she was wearing for the earlier classes. So it's just amazing to see how much muscle work improves, range of motion, and just the recognition of the steps that we're doing week to week.
Natalia is working through just verbalizing. Communication seems to be a challenge sometimes. And then she also uses a walker to get around because she doesn't have the best balance. So she has that independent spirit, just kind of getting her body up to speed with her mind.
It's really difficult for her because she has really tight muscles to raise her hands in the air or stretch her shoulders, open up her chest. That's a lot of the things that we work on in therapy.
Finding adaptive recreation in any form is hard. So to learn that, not only could she, train with the ballerina, but be a ballerina herself was just really important to me.
Nicole kind of just stuck with it. She really worked with Natalia. She was a trooper, and Natalia began to really, really love her. And towards the end of the sessions, she has a picture of Nicole in a book in her room. She would point to her, she would ask about her, and then when we would go to dance with her, we were told we could say bravo and clap, but Natalia would give her the thumbs up and like hoot and holler for her.
Naomi was born with spina bifida. Naomi cannot feel from her knees down. That's part of her special need. And so she has to use forearm crutches to walk. And so ballet is maybe something we didn't consider for her.
Tour de force, there are a bunch of people around me, and we're all doing the same thing. And in Tour de force, I get to socialize with some of the other kids that are like me. I like most about working with my physical therapist and my ballet dancers is that they are very supportive and they're very gentle and very kind.
She's always wanted to dance and spin and twirl. To be able to actually go to this class and, hold on to the bar and watch and be able to do some of the movements, that has been just really inspiring for her.
When I stepped into that class, I could feel like the warm environment, and I knew that I was different, but in this class, I wasn't that different from everybody.
The third class that we're doing is a brand new class. It's called Les Saugers, and that means the soloists. And these kids are 4 to 6 years old.
And these girls are completely independent, so they can walk on their own. They do not need any help with that. They may still have braces on, but they do not need any additional walkers or assistive devices to move. And so there they get to participate a little bit more in what a typical ballet class would be like for their age group.
We just guide them through some of the same things, starting with stretching, warming up the feet, isolations, a little bit of bar work, and then the biggest difference for them is they get to do some things in center, some moving across the floor, incorporating a little bit of jumping, sometimes their favorite free dance where they get to make up whatever they want and show us what they can do.
For our Tour de Force kids, going to see a performance is a really big part of the program. We want them to have this opportunity at the end of each session. So we have made it possible for all of them to go in a group to see the Nutcracker at a regular performance. We bring them backstage for a backstage tour so that they can see the inner workings of how a big production like this is put together. The dancers they've been working with come down from their dressing rooms and say hi to them before the show so they know what they're going to be wearing and who to look for on stage. This is a really big event for these kids. We want them to see what the dancers do in addition to what they're doing in the studio, and we want them to be able to also have that family experience like every other family gets to have by going to the Nutcracker.
Whether it's music, dance, visual arts, I think that programs like this are incredibly powerful, and there's just not enough of them. Not only was their quality of life improved, but the goals and outcomes they were looking surpassed even what they were hoping for when the classes began. And I think we'll continue to see that kind of metric with future classes.
Success is defined very differently in Tour de Force than it would in a normal ballet program. Each child's success is measured against their own abilities and what they should be able to achieve. So it's not comparing one child to another. It's all an individual success.
Some of the kids that have been involved in the class since the beginning are now starting to do exercises at home that they had for therapy that they never did before. So they're really improving their physical function and also their motivation to keep doing activities that other kids can do.
We all approach this program to be a benefit for the children, the students. The most unbelievable part for me watching this is the power, the effect it's had on the dancers and on the physical therapists.
It's inspiring just to see how much these families, love each other and support each other, and these are normal kids with, normal lives, and even though they're kind of extraordinary in different ways, being a part of their routine and activity and being able to experience the stuff with them is kind of profound.
The most rewarding thing is getting to see the kids feel successful and to see them smile when they know they've done something well or remembered something or improved at something, because once they smile once, they just want to keep doing and keep trying and keep succeeding, and they all do.
To really watch these kids come in and not even think that they can do it themselves, to think, ballet, I can't do ballet, I can never be a ballet dancer, I can't do this, and to then watch them have their mind changed along with all of ours and along with their parents. You can conquer these things.
I want other kids to have a chance to experience what I experienced and have more confidence than what they have right now. Anybody with special needs can do anything.
The Milwaukee Ballet and Children's Hospital of Wisconsin plan to continue and expand Tour de Force so more children can experience the healing power of dance. For more information about the Tour de Force program, visit the website milwaukeeballet.org. I'm Sandy Max. Thank you for watching this special episode, and please join us next time on The Arts Page.